My name is Tyler Vanhook. I'm the offensive coordinator at Silver Bluff High School. Uh, this season, we were the Region 5 2A region champions, the 2A lower state champions, and we're the 2A state runner-ups. We finished the record with 11-1. This is my second year at Silver Bluff. Last year we were 4-2. In my first year with all the COVID craziness, the two games we did lose were by 3 points. So we were a pistol spread offense. We might jump into two-back a little bit. But we're primarily a run-to-throw team. We're going to run the ball more than throw it. And this has been my philosophy everywhere I've been. I've been a couple stops in the upstate. I was the offensive coordinator at Aiken High, head coach at Augusta Christian, and I started my coaching career in Arkansas, where I'm from. I'm originally from Springdale, Arkansas.
I'm Isaiah Sexton. I'm the defensive coordinator at Woodburn High School in Woodburn, Oregon. I'm going into my third season. Last fall, we were 6-3. It was our Woodburn's first winning season in the second winning season since 1987. So since myself and Coach Mace and the rest of the staff kind of took over during that COVID year, started trying to help with the change around the culture a little bit. Before that, I was the secondary coach at the University of Puget Sound. It's a D3 school up in Tacoma, Washington. I was there for 1 year. Prior to that, I was the running backs coach at Minot State University out in North Dakota for a couple of years. And then before that, I was kind of an assistant linebackers coach at the University of Oregon for a year. And then I coached some high school football in Eugene for a couple of years, down at South Eugene High School before that. So yeah, that's kind of been my journey.
We're a big power counter team. That's kind of our bread and butter. It's been our bread and butter really pretty much everywhere I've been. We've been very fortunate that we've had the backs. They can run it and really, really good offensive line. That's my position that I coach, and I tell you, but those are my babies. I found that we've had a lot of success with running quarterbacks in the last couple stops I've been, and so we try to run a lot of wrinkles and a lot of variations off a traditional power look. So one of those things we've done around the pistols, we've run like what we call a power read look, but we invert it. Instead of him crossing face, he's behind, and we want to make it look like a speed option kind of look. The defensive end crashes on that the defensive end crashes on our tackle blocking down. We're going to read. If he crashes, we're going to pitch it. If he runs up the field chasing that pitch, the quarterback's going to put his foot in the ground, and he basically running power. We've had a lot of success with that. We're backside tackles kind of cutting off, the tight end cutting off, our H-back cutting off. Where we're from, everybody kind of tries to overset us to our strength, and that kind of leaves them pretty vulnerable to the short side of the field. If we feel like, again, we can get real nasty with it and run our slot receiver on a jet motion. If we can catch those teams really trying to rotate towards jet motion, we've run a lot of jet last year, and we've been very successful at it. And so we've caught teams really, rotating their safeties down, trying to run that strong safety down in the alley. And again, I said we've had, a big offensive line that's been pretty athletic, and we're still playing high school football. We play 2A high school football, so we're going to pick on people. If we find defensive ends we want to run, we want to run it down, especially if they're a little undisciplined. A lot of teams don't see the quarterback putting his foot in the ground. They're used to seeing, that power read, crossing face with the clicks. But again, to see that fast flow, pitch motion or pitch step, 9 times out of 10, that defensive end is going to fly out the field. We're going to put our foot in the ground, pick up probably a first down or close to it.
If you came out in that formation, our field side backer would his rule is automatically to press that tight end. So we will always want to get hands on and collision at tight end for the run game or for the pass game. And then our overhang guy will be right outside that wing. To first play the game, We're going to go into one of our safer calls, basic kind of coverage to see where you're at. We're going to go pinch the defensive line. So those 2-4 techniques will step into that B gap. They are taught to attack specific offensive linemen. So in this case, he would step towards the inside of that tackle, or both those defensive ends would. And then that nose would go to the boundary. So he'd go to the boundary A gap, going through that center. Meanwhile, our weak side linebacker is going to come off the edge into that C gap. Ideally, he does not go too far upfield, although we know how that can happen sometimes. So his job is to come off the edge, time up the snap count as best he can. First play of the game might be a little bit tough, but he is trying to time up that snap count, come off the edge quick and explosive. Our DBs, our safeties, are going to roll into a weak or a boundary cover 3, so that free safety will, again, trying to time it like that weak side linebacker, come down to about 5 or 6. His job is to collision that slot receiver if he reads pass. If he reads run, he is ready to fill outside that slot receiver with our corner playing outside of that number 1 receiver. So our 2 ends will be pinching into those B gaps. Our nose will be going to the boundary A gap. Our Willer is responsible for that field side A gap and playing cutback with run action going away. That weak side backer coming off the edge, explosive, aggressive. Again, ideally not going too far upfield, with our free safety rolling to the boundary. Again, trying to time up that snap best they can. The corners, both corners are gonna slow play it. So they're gonna take 1 to 2 slow steps as they get their reading 3-step or reading run game, and then they're going to attack aggressively towards the line of scrimmage as well. So we should have every gap covered in that situation. One of our keys is just trying to be deceptive, flow as close to the snap of the ball as possible, so we can fit in our run lanes without the offense trying to know what we're going to be in. So in this situation, we are in a similar alignment with our 3 down linemen in 4s, our 2 defensive ends in 4s, and our nose over the center. Again, with that H-back tight end, we're going to treat him essentially like a tight end. So we're going to press him again with that field side backer. Again, his job is to make sure that guy doesn't get a clean release doesn't get a clean release for the pass game, and is also not able to help at least as easily in the run game. So in this situation, the defensive linemen are working to get to the next offensive lineman over. So the defensive end to the field is working to get to the hip of that guard and keep his hips in the B gap. That nose is working to get to the hips of the boundary guard. Again, keeping his hips in his A gap. And that boundary end is essentially that contained force player working to get outside, make sure everything stays inside of him. And then this time we are bringing a field pressure. So our overhang, he is pressed on that number 2, that slot. He is going to try and time up that blitz. He's going to come off the edge outside of your H-back, your tight end. And our field safety is going to try and move on a rope with that overhang outside backer and roll down to about 5 or 6, looking to play skiff technique over that slot. Right, he's looking to collision the seam first to make sure he takes that away as best as he possibly can, keeping his hips square, moving laterally, making sure that slot guy has to widen his route and get off of his route. And then he's playing that curl flat. So we're in another cover 3 type look. That corner to the field, again, he's taking 2 slow steps. He is reading quick game. He is reading 3-step. So he can drive on any pass to the flat, any quick game action once he sees that long arm from the quarterback. Otherwise, he's playing deep third, and And now our free safety, our boundary safety, is going to roll deep middle. With 3 to the field like that, he's going to look to especially play 3 vert. Since 3 is out H-back, he might think a little bit more about that 2 slot, but he's thinking 3 vert first, and then possibly looking at a post or something from that number 2 receiver. Our corner to the boundary, he's playing very similar technique, or it's the same technique as that corner to the field, taking those 2 slow steps. He is taught in this situation that is very much man-like technique. It's zone hips, it's zone eyes, but he knows he's got 1 receiver to the boundary, so he's going to play a little bit more man-type technique. Meanwhile, our weak side linebacker in this coverage is playing curl flat. So he is responsible for robbing any slant hitch from that boundary number 1 receiver. And then we'll have our middle linebacker covering that A gap, and our field linebacker covering that C gap in between that tackle and your H back.
We're teaching our quarterback here. Well, first of all, let's talk protection. We're going to put our protection. We're a half slide team, in a 3 front. It basically turns into a 4-man slide, pretty much. But like our left tackle, he's going to take anything coming off the edge. Our left guard is going to take anything B gap. Against that defensive end that's slanting inside. That guard is going to meet him right or punch him right in the teeth. Our center is going to post up and take half that nose, and check for an A gap blitzer. Our right guard, he's going to take the nose, and then we're essentially locked on the backside defensive end. So wherever the defensive end wants to go inside, we'll watch him. If he wants to run up the field, we'll get into our pass set. Again, we're looking for slant bubble. We teach our quarterbacks count numbers. Again, we've scouted you guys. We are a cover 3 team. We love this route against cover 3, especially if you are going to roll. If you're going to play too high and try to roll, we know if you're going to roll, where pretty much that vertical is non-existent. We're going to tell our quarterback, hey, look, if you see that safety going in the middle of the field, that vertical is not there. Don't even peek at it. But y'all are going to stay too high. We've had a lot of success hitting that right behind the linebacker's ears. We put Barnwell away in the lower state championship, running this exact route, this exact play. Do the same thing. They played too high and didn't roll, and our quarterback made a great read. But we're going to tell him to pick numbers. Like right now, if you look to the field, our slant bubble, your safety, we're going to assume he's going to roll down. So it's 2 on 2. He can choose that route if he wants to. If he wants to go to the field, again, we're going to read whoever or whatever we're calling their flat defender, or what I call the number 2 defender. If he thinks to take away slant, we're going to hit bubble. If he chases bubble, we'll hit that slant right behind his ear. But with this look, we really want to look weak side of the field. We want to look to that single receiver side, and we're going to tell our quarterback here is who's a flat defender. We're going to assume it might be the corner, because you don't have a number 2 defender out there, so he's going to read corner. A lot of teams play man covers to the 1 receiver side of the field. So if he jumps that corner or jumps that slant, we've got that swing pass out of the backfield. Our running back is one of the best in the state. He's taken 3 of those jokers to the house, over 60 plus yards doing that. Our philosophy down here at Silver Bluff is we want athletes in space to get the ball. We trust our athletes to make guys miss. A lot of times we tell our running backs, receivers, your job is to make somebody miss. But again, if that corner, tries to fly up and take that swing pass away, we do have the slant option. If he bails a deep cover 3, again, we can throw slant. But again, we're looking numbers right now. If we go to the weak side of the field, it's basically 2 on 1. So we want our quarterback to recognize that. Now he can go to the field if he likes the matchup, or if we scouted a team and say, hey, number 7, he can't, he can't cover my grandma out there. He's lost. He's got bad hips. We can tell him, or if we like our receiver matchup, we want to get this guy the ball. We want to feed him this week. We feel like he can have a good week. We may change that. But right now, if we let our quarterback read, we're hoping he goes to the single receiver side, and then we can make a big play. Because again, 2nd and 1 on our side of the field, we're up by 6. We want to make it a 2-point game or a 2-score game. So we're going to score, and most likely going to go for 2 right now. to obviously get back in the ball game. We obviously got to pick up a first down. We definitely don't want to punt from our own 21-yard line. So what we like to do, again, we have a very mobile quarterback, and we've been blessed for years with one. We're gonna sprint out. We have several variations of a sprint out series. This is the one I like to run, especially against over 3 teams. It's a nice look. It's a different look than a lot of teams are used to seeing. So what we're obviously the one single receiver side, what he's doing is he's getting to the middle of the field now. Like I don't even have a route number for it. I mean, he's not even stemming up. He's trying to get under the free safety's face, and he's running to the goalpost. We'll even actually tell him to tighten his splits in more because we're trying to get him in the quarterback's vision. Just in case, a lot of teams that scout us try to roll, and they'll run that free safety or that strong safety down. And a lot of times that free safety gets lazy, especially late in the game. We've ran sprint out 3 or 4 times, and then we get lucky. We've been about 3 or 4 times a year get lucky. Big play, free safety doesn't roll or doesn't roll fast enough. We hit that big hole shot. But on our play side here, obviously we're going to use what we call our smoke protection up front. Our play side tackle is going to reach that defensive end. He's going to get help from our running back. The running back is attacking first threat outside. So if even the coordinator wants to blitz an outside linebacker or something like that, he's going to have to take that outside linebacker. But if there's no blitz or no outside threat, he's going to help our tackle steal that defensive end to let us get a nice clean window to sprint out. Play side guard's going to reach, and then our backside guys are we're going to what we call close the door. So they're going to step and bail. They're going to step inside and bail, and basically kind of close. The back of the offensive line is going to big hinge down. I tell our guys, listen, if that backside defensive end runs us down, that backside defensive tackle runs us down, I'm firing our quarterback because he held the ball way too long. He should have either thrown it or ran. But our goal is just to kind of just harass them. We're not looking to stick them on the line of scrimmage. We're just trying to just not let them have a free run. Receiver wise, our H-back's going to run a 10-yard out. Or what we call our wide receiver, he's on the line. He's an invert on the line of scrimmage. He's going to run a 9 route. Again, if that safety's scrolling down hard, that's a possibility. We hit that. We put away South Aiken running this exact play. The safety ran down trying to jump that 10-yard out. We've hit a couple times. Our slot receiver ran right by him, touchdown. But the play, our number one read is what we call this funky hitch. If you notice, it's not a straight up and down hitch. We're sprinting out, so we want everything moving with the sprint out. So what we tell this guy here is, he's trying to get to the first down marker. We like to run this, especially 3rd and 6 and shorter. And he's really going to set up. I tell him to put his foot, push straight to the sideline and turn around when he gets to the sideline hash marks and turn around and post up. So what that does is that gives us some room. It gives us some separation from your outside linebacker. If he's covering the flat, that's a long way for him to turn and run, especially if he's got a jam or 9 route on a release. And that corner's bailing. It looks like we're running a fade or some kind of deep route. We shut it down. Corner's bailing. We get that. Worst case scenario, we catch it and get tackled. It's still a first down. A lot of times, we catch it, and again, like we preach with our guys over and over and over again, you're going to make one guy miss. If he catches it and steps up the field, makes that corner miss, and we all know in high school football, the corners aren't our best tacklers. A lot of times, that could be a big play for us. If that corner jumps this route, then he should hit that 10-yard out, should be appearing right in our quarterback's window, right as he realizes that hitch is gone, and he just throws it over the corner to that 10-yard out route coming in behind him. And again, our last option, like we tell our quarterbacks, if everybody's covered, that means no one's looking at you, run the football. And our quarterback is great at, and our quarterbacks have always been great at knowing down a distance, and he's not afraid. And we tell our guys that we're not going to put him back at quarterback if he's not afraid on 3rd and 6 down by 3. If everybody's covered, to tuck it and run, pick up that first down and move the sticks. Because right now, again, we preach to our kids all the time about football, kind of have football awareness, no down and distance. this isn't the time. We're looking for a touchdown. We're not looking for a kill shot. If it's there, take it, but don't force it. We definitely don't want to throw a pick this deep, and it gives our opponent a chance to make a two-score game. But ideally, again, we're looking for this funky hitch. We want to catch it. In the worst-case scenario, we pick up 6 and a first down. If they jump it, we have a pretty good chance of hitting that 10-yard out, coming behind for a big game. And again, we like our tight end matchups out in space with some of these guys.
We know 3rd and 6. We're up. Offensive coordinators get a little antsy. Offensive football players get a little antsy. They want to make a play. We want to cause some chaos. So we are a cover 3 base team. We'll run a lot of cover 3 from the field to the boundary, cover 3 robbers. But in this situation, we're going to play a little bit of a 2 invert. So I'll admit you caught us with the wrong blitz. We blitz our weak side backer. If you're sprinting away from it, he's probably not going to get there. That's all right. Our coverage will look to take care of your route concept. So in this situation, our corner is going to bail fairly early. He's looking to play deep pass to the field, or to the, well, we're considering the field, which should be to our left, because of a lot of times quarterbacks are right-handed. So we're going to consider the field our left. Our corner is going to play that deep pass. When you have 2 flex receivers like that and an H-back tight end, really the corner is thinking favor 2 first, about 3-4 yards outside of 2, but he is playing deep pass to the field side or to the left side. Our field side safety is going to try and time up his role as best he can, and he's looking to essentially replace that corner, playing a cloud technique, looking to rob hitches, slants, playing underneath that number 1 receiver. So essentially, they're flipping responsibilities in their in this cover 2 invert. Our field side safety is taught to play deep to shallow. Right, he's not necessarily going to drive any sort of shallow route, but he's looking to play to about 12-ish yards, 12 to 15 yards, and then shallow. But he is looking to rob underneath 1 first, and then he'll deepen up with good zone eyes. Our overhang outside backer type, he is still going to be pressed on that slot, especially when he is on the line of scrimmage. But his first steps are going to be inside and then looking to wall that number 2. Anything coming inside, he is going to kill. He is going to attack that thing. So he is looking to take away anything inside. Everything flowing out, he's going to start to move outside a little bit too, and look to number 3 coming out back to him. If number 3 is not coming, he's just going to go get the quarterback. If everything's going out and number 3 is not going out either. Our field inside linebacker, he has that B gap, but he is taught to with any 3-by-1 formation, he's got to run with 3 vertical. He's looking to squat on number 3. So once he reads pass, he's essentially looking to that H-back tight end, looking to see what he does. If he goes out, he'll go out with him, looking for something coming back in. If nothing's coming back in, it's essentially he's man-to-man on that H-back tight end. Our corner to the boundary, he's looking to play like a trap technique, where he's starting at 7, but again, he's trying to time that thing up, walk down to about 5, inside, just inside shoulder of that number 1 to the boundary. Again, looking to take away hitch, looking to take away slant, quick game type stuff. Our safety to the boundary is going to play deep half over the top of 1. Really, since that's his only threat, that's who he's looking to first, and then he can help out to the field side if that receiver runs a slant or something that corner can take. Front-wise, we're going to, again, in this situation, we're looking to cause chaos. So we are going to shift from our normal 3-down odd front that we've been running most of the game into our even front. Again, trying to time that up as much as possible. Our middle linebacker will give the shift call to get those guys to move. So we're going to move from an odd front to an even front. Again, just trying to cause chaos with the offensive line, with your quarterback, with what you guys are seeing. So big picture, we're going to stay in that same look that we've been in for most of the game. We're going to shift from an off front to an even front. Our weak side inside linebacker is going to blitz that B gap. He got us there. He's not going to be able to get to the quarterback with that sprint out. And then our field side safety is going to roll to the flats, to the field, or to the left side. And our corner, the field corner, is going to play that deep half And again, our overhang is looking to the wall, not letting anything come inside. But again, they're kind of matching these routes. So our inside backers looking to match number 3. Our overhangs looking to kind of match number 2, or the final number 2. And our corners playing over the top, respecting number 2 first, and then but playing 2 to 1. I didn't even talk about our D-line. Our D-line, our 2 inside guys, our 2 tackles, after they shift there, they are looking to pinch inside just because it's 3rd and 6, especially if you got a mobile quarterback. We want to take away the run game first, just because we're going to respect your ability to run on 3rd and 6. And then our 2 defensive end types, our defensive end and our weak side linebacker who's walked up playing that defensive end position are going to be those force outside contain type guys, with our inside backers playing that vegan. Again, our defensive linemen are taught to engage offensive linemen first with their hips in their gap, because they want to beat their one-on-one matchup first, and not get surprised by any other sort of blocking scheme, just especially in case of run. So again, the idea here, 3rd and 6, we're up, we're playing loose, we're playing fast. You guys don't want to make mistakes, so we want to cause as much chaos as we can, both in the front through our shifts and through our coverage, rolling from what we have been running cover 3 into a 2. Well, first, this is what we live for, right? Win the game on defense. So what we're going to do here in the red zone, I know a lot of teams play man coverage. We're not a huge man coverage team in the red zone, just because the biggest difficulty with zone coverage is the space and having to cover the space. And with less space, it kind of works to our advantage to play a little bit more zone coverage. So we're going to play like a 3 cloud. Our corner to the field is looking to play that same kind of trap technique, looking to get underneath number 1, and then he'll deepen as the play develops. But he's looking to rob number 1 first, trying to make sure 1 goes over the top of him before he deepens. Our field side safety is playing deep third to the field. So he is going to try and time up his roll with our weak side safety. So they are both rolling at the same time. With our field side safety looking, again, playing deep third over the top of number 1. Our boundary safety looking to play that deep middle. With your formation of your 2 flex out receivers and that tight end or the H-back to the boundary, that boundary safety is probably thinking post from that number 2 receiver first, but he's going to respect that H-back as well, playing that deep middle. Our corner to the boundary is playing a deep third, but again, he's got 1 split out, 1 actual receiver to his side, so he's going to be a little bit more aggressive, but he's playing that deep third. Our boundary linebacker is going to be walked up onto your H-back again, looking to get hands on him right away. He is going to make sure that with pass game, his number 1 job is to reroute that guy and make his life a living hell as much as he possibly can. And then he'll look to rob underneath number 1 to the boundary. Our weak side inside linebacker, he is going to look to that H-back tight end right away, looking for seam, looking for hitch, anything like that. And he's going to look to take that away, playing that inside kind of hook curl squat 3 technique. Meanwhile, we're going to run a stunt with our defensive line and our linebacker. So our field side inside linebacker is going to come off the edge hard. He is looking to kill your quarterback, or at least get in his face as much as possible, and make him have to think that he's going to get hit like he's been getting hit all game. Meanwhile, our nose is going to stunt to the B gap. He's going to go first. He is working to get through that guard and really get his hips turned. He's going to be nice and tight to that guard, and make that guard have to choose who he's going to try and pick up. So he wants to really make sure he takes that guard, and our defensive end is going to loop right underneath him, looking to be as aggressive as possible inside of that inside shoulder of that guard. Again, they want to hug that guard so that he has to. So your center or your tackle can't pick him up because they are super tight to that guard. one of them should come free without Mike coming off the edge. Our overhang outside back guy, he's doing the same technique that we talked about in the last clip, trying to wall number 2. So he is pressed on him again. His first step is inside. He is walling number 2, making sure he does not get inside of him. Any sort of inside route, he is going to press. He's going to make his life difficult. Anything that goes out, he can start to kind of help out his corner, but he's not going to chase anything out because he knows his corner is sitting out there in the flats. So he is looking to wall that, take away any hitch, any slant from number 2, any sort of inside route from number 2. But yeah, I mean, 2 seconds left. We're looking to make a play, really looking to just knock the ball down. And this is a safe coverage for us, good to the flats, good to the middle of the field, pretty good to the boundary, but we're still able to bring a pressure and be aggressive up front in case you want to sprint out, in case you want to, do any other sort of normal drop back. We are bringing a stunt with our D-line and that backer off the edge.
Again, like we don't change personnel a whole lot. We're in, an H-back 90% of the time. So what we're looking at here is a variation of our smash concept. We often tag that when we get close into a red zone. So instead of being a straight up hitch, our outside receivers run slant. So whatever it is, when we're calling this route, we obviously tag it with a red zone. So the outside receivers know they're slanting, running slant. We also tag with an angle. When the angle does put that back out, he's going to take a hard outside release, put his foot in the ground, and he's trying to find that big, nice, soft spot right behind your linebackers. And you're going to help us out because you're going to blitz one, which is fantastic for us, by the way. We're going to teach our quarterback, again, we want him to count pre-snap. If you look to the field, we're 3-on-2 over there. That's not a good look for us. So we're going to look boundary. We always like our matchup with our H-back. Like again, like we've been blessed last couple of years to have a freak show there. Again, they get lost a lot. Again, like I've had, one of the things that I got really learned early on in my coaching career from some of the old hats was run tight end route because no one looks at them anymore. And so we've been really successful doing that. So again, he's looking here to the boundary. You're going to roll your free safety, so he's moving to the middle of the field, which is going to make it very hard to attack a post corner. Hopefully your corner bites on this slant, because you're probably yelling at him on the sideline, don't let anybody cross your face, don't let anybody cross your face, don't let anybody cross your face. So he's going to run and clear out and leave us this nice, big, giant back pylon window. So we're going to hit our 6'3" tight end right there to win the football game. And I'm up in the press block, so I don't have to get the Gatorade bath, so that's nice. But we're also going to tell our quarterback, he has that hot route with your linebacker's going to vacate in the middle of the field. Dump it now. Again, we like athletes in space. High school football guys don't tackle very well. You throw it in front. Like I said, hit that nice soft underbelly and let our running back make a play, make a free safety miss. Again, hopefully he's rolling to the middle of the field, but he's going to be at a bad angle to have to step up and make a tackle. But again, if everything goes right, play design like we wanted to go, we want to get this corner out to the boundary. That's our first look again, because you've taken away by our rules our field. You're 3-on-2 with us. That's not a good look. We don't like it because, like I said, y'all are going to try to knock it down. Y'all are going to tip the ball. We don't want that. We want, a nice, easy throw to the boundary. And again, if our quarterback reads that blitz, and I'm totally cool. I'm okay with him. If your guys rally down and make a tackle on the 1-yard line, like the Rams did the Titans in the Super Bowl that one year, I'm like, I can live with that. I'm gonna be mad, but that's your athletes beating our athletes. But again, we want to look boundary. We're going to be, again, when we tell our quarterback a lot of times, he has the option. Again, we're probably going to put our slide protection to your blitzing linebacker or your walked up linebacker on our H-back, just because we want to account for him in case he does blitz. So again, that puts us at a disadvantage when your linebacker does come around the edge. So we want to either get the ball off on that corner, or we definitely need to read hot, because if we don't, you are going to hit us right in the mouth. But I'm confident our quarterback makes good reads. Our kids make plays in space. So, that's what we're going to go with. We're going to try to win a game. You beat us, you beat us. I'll walk across, shake your hand, because that means your athletes beat our athletes, and that's really what high school football is all about.
Yeah, I'll just keep this short and sweet, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. I love having these battles, these chalk talks. It's good to talk a little offense, a little defense, and especially this few months after the season. So it's good to get back into talking football a little bit. I don't really have anything to promote. I mean, I got my Twitter. You can feel free to follow me at Coach2_Sexton. I just like talking defense football. That's about it.
Again, Coach Tyler Vanhook. I really don't have much social media, but I do have Twitter. You can follow me at Coach TV Hook. I'm an open book. I'll DM you. I'll talk to you. I live in a house with 2 twin girls and a wife. Like I don't get to talk football a whole lot. So when other people want to, I'm gonna jump all over. Like when you emailed me, when you hit me up the other day, I'm perfect, awesome, let's do it. It gets me out of watching, Disney Channel movies and home building shows. So I'm all about that. But again, like I said, if anybody's watching this, you like what you see, you got questions, I said, Twitter's the best way to get a hold of me. And I said, I'll talk to you. I'll DM. I'll do whatever I need and swap emails. I'm an open book. As long as you're not in our region, we don't have to play you this year. If one of you guys hit me up, I'm sorry, you're out of luck. You'll have to wait till you get some film. But thanks for your time. I appreciate this.